Hello, and welcome to the second part of this journey going through this very long video. Last time I only got through 40 minutes. As you can see, I'm on the 40th. I wrote it down. I'm exactly where I left off, 40 minutes and 38 seconds in to a 3 hour and 50-minute video. And it took me, how long was that stream? I can check later, but yeah, it was pretty ridiculous. So I think we're just gonna jump right into it. But if you're unaware of what the whole situation is, it's a React problem with that Twitch has right now, with people essentially mooching off of YouTubers, and that's not okay. Let's go with the brief intro into Denims. Denim.
So you may have noticed that.
All right, I will be back. I should be done getting ready by the end of this video. Smile.
Oh, Mahler, you're great. Yeah, so the person who edited this compilation is Mahler from the channel Mahler. I think that someone else also helped him out. Maybe. But yeah, he's throwing in a little clip of, so this is her background, and it's essentially doing the exact same thing that the whole controversy was started over, and that is Hassan playing a video while he just gets up to get food or get ready. So she's playing a whole video. Oh, they're gone. Let me take my vitamins. It's ridiculous.
Okay.
Oh, I went through the whole video. That is a stream.
What a story.
This is the story. This is what we're doing.
Streaming in the
Great
morning,
story,
it
Mark.
makes work so much better.
So this is her watching the same video that All Relevant watched at the first part in this one. So it's the same JXE video talking about how Twitch streamers are mooching, essentially. So
This is just fucking pictures of some friend.
so you know what's happening.
Do they kill themselves?
Soot House is exceptional, and the whole
Oh, she's muted.
Sorry, why am I muted? I didn't even mute myself. I'm so mauled. Being a React content streamer,
I don't know why that edit is thrown in there. I think it's just annoying. Because I think it's, see, I'll give them credit where it's due. I think that's just an honest mistake, and it almost seems like Mahler is throwing that edit in there just to make sure that you know that she's not trustworthy as a source because she's dumb or makes mistakes like that. But yeah, I don't know if that's okay. Let's wait until we get to her points, because is she stupid or her points stupid? 'Cause that's the real question. That's the only thing you need to know in a debate. You don't have to actually, if you ever have to say that your opponent is stupid, therefore you can't trust them, not smart. Let's see what she has to say.
you're like I mean, all streamers on some level are so disincentivized from like leaving their computer. And when you're a React streamer, there are so many people who hate React streamers just because they're React streamers. Like literally know what.
So I'm gonna take that first part because I'll cut her off and replay that section right there. But she says that you're incentivized to play other people's content, right? And the only response I have to that is you're incentivized to do a lot of bad stuff. Just a matter of moral principle and the law. So in society. So that's something I always think about. So if I always say, if I ever had the ability to time travel, rather than placing money in stocks and stuff like that, my idea when I was in high school, because I had already a basic understanding of copyright, my basic understanding was that I would write a bunch of music that I knew from the future before they wrote it, and then copyright strike them and get all the money from their views and stuff. That was something that I understood when I was like junior in high school. So I don't know why these guys don't understand that's something that you'd be incentivized to do if you were in the past. You'd be incentivized to make everything in your favor, but having everything in your favor doesn't, it often pushes other people down, and that's something that you'd have to live with in that case. I just feel like these guys just don't understand other perspectives. It's the no empathy thing. They don't look at it from the other perspective, or no, not even sympathy. It's mostly just talking disingenuously about someone's position. Yeah, it's difficult to go through. So we'll listen to the second part of the argument.
There are so many people who hate React streamers just because they're React streamers.
And the people who hate React streamers just because they're React streamers, that's not true. Well, I mean, yes, that can be true, but it's the reason that would be is because people like this give React content on Twitch a bad name. You're essentially you're not doing anything. You're just playing videos with your audience. And at that point, you're just stealing content. If you're not engaged with the content, it's not your content. I mean, that's why I try to give my 2 cents on almost every point in this, because I feel like I would be stealing. So let's continue.
There's like literally no other reason. It's just like, you're a React streamer, I don't like you. And it'll be like, oh, React streaming is so easy. Like, look, watch, I'm gonna do it. Walks away from computer. It's like, okay, dude, the React streamers spend like 90, 95, 98% of their time on stream, and they leave for 5 minutes, barely, after streaming for hours and hours and hours.
But I don't care if you leave during the stream. I care if you leave and play someone else's video. So if they ever see this reaction, that's all I have to say is, I don't care if you leave. I care if you leave and play someone else's video, because that is theft at that point. Because even if it's only 95% of your stream that you're reacting, even then, if I was just sitting here for 3 straight hours just playing this video, I could get a lot of content out of that because I can just let it play. But you can get far more content and be far more entertaining just by actually engaging with it, which is what a lot of better, I would say arguably better streamers do. Is they would engage with the content and turn 20 minutes into hours, especially if you have multiple people on the stream, and it makes it easier to bounce off of ideas and stuff. That's what I would appreciate on the stream, if I had someone to bounce off of. Because I was thinking of inviting my brother to talk about this situation, because he just watched this stuff too recently, and he was just appalled by all the things said by these 3 guys. He was just, his only reaction was, wow, streamers are just so stupid. And I feel a little bad for the streamers, because they're probably not stupid. I would assume they're not stupid, because I don't think everybody is stupid. Everybody can have a basic understanding, and I think they just don't have enough of emotional ability to see from the other perspectives and react accordingly. They're mostly just seeing someone come at them and immediately thinking that it's an attack, and that's not the case. Because you can see that with some people, they can see a criticism and go, oh yeah, I guess that was pretty bad. But any criticism, no matter how small, it just makes it so it's insta ban, or they're attacking me, I'm the victim. It's hilarious.
And then it's like, and they leave something to watch, and people are like, why would you? Oh my god, you're literally stealing content. It's like, okay, dude.
It is
I'm worried content. This video is just gonna be like a bit of a cope.
A bit of a cope?
So like,
I mean, so what if he's coping? I hate the online thing where commenters, if someone displays a criticism on anything, the easiest conversation ender is just cope, because you don't want to engage with the argument. I've seen it so many times in comment sections, and I feel like it just stems from, it might stem from streamers saying the same thing, or maybe even gamers saying the same thing, because a lot of gamers do that too, where maybe someone's doing a hack or something,
Yujia
or
said, her point seems so weird.
oh yeah, this all three people that are covered in this, their points are just so odd. Like, you never think that anybody would think like that until you see these people. So, but what I was saying is, there'll be something really broken in a game, right? Imagine if there was a character who had an infinite combo, you couldn't get out of it, and there was nothing you could do. And if the person messed up, you had a chance of fighting back, but if they didn't, you just couldn't play. If someone brought that up in a conversation, a lot of people who would be fans of a person who plays that character or play that character themselves would just say cope. It's just a way to bat off people who have good points. Well, sometimes people have bad points, I will admit, because I've had my fair share of bad points in the past. Speaking of, I made a Reddit post on a League of Legends forum. I don't play League of Legends anymore, but it was a year ago. A full year ago, and in the last week, I got my old year ago post got tagged and berated for something recently, and I was just looking at all the takes that people have had against my
Yujia
against
said,
my thing.
oh wow.
Yeah, I was looking at all their takes, and all I could say was they were all attacking it in the most disingenuous way. Yeah, yes, what I said was kind of dumb, but they didn't attack it from the perspective. So almost every 2 weeks, League of Legends has a patch where they change something about the game, whether that be a few numbers or a few characters' stats or something like that. It's been a year, which means if you count how many patches there's been so many patches. So when I was comparing two characters, I was comparing Katarina and Garen, and at that time there was a rune in the game that you could run with any character, and if you got it fully stacked in a combat situation, you would start healing from all damage you did. And the gist of it is just that it was something that was overpowered in that certain patch, and they decided to berate it as if I posted it yesterday, which I haven't played, so I don't know if that's particularly the case, that the character is bad or good. So let's continue with this. I'm getting on a weird tangent.
it feels, I don't know. I can't say for sure. Maybe the video is actually really, really good. But it feels like certain people have a certain idea of what should be or what ought to be, such that no one chew your food first. No.
Okay, well, what should be and what ought to be, I think that just comes with people with a strong moral compass. It's so if she doesn't, I don't really care. That's on her. But some people have their own ingrained morals, and it's really hard to go against them. Like me, I find it really hard to curse. I can't do it. It just doesn't feel right. And the only time I've ever done it is, like, said any of the worst words is when I've been in acting, when I had to say it, or else it just sounded weird to censor it. So that's the only time I've ever cursed. And I haven't even cursed on my own. I don't even curse to myself or under my breath. It's just not for me, but that's because of my own moral compass. I take this weird
Yujia said,
thing.
same, can't curse.
Exactly. So I just can't. So it's just my perspective that I can't curse. I don't care if other people do it because it's on them. But it's same thing with this situation, is if she thinks that Jay, the person that she's responding to, only like has this higher moral ground that he's talking down to people from. It might be more of a law thing because it's about fair use more of like his whole argument is about how fair use is very important for media critique, and eventually if this type of thing continues, which will crack down on all of this type of content and everybody suffers for it. All the entertainment value that you get from watching a video and critiquing it is just taken away. So that's something that I also fear for because YouTube had that problem. You can't get monetized for you can't watch a movie and then critique it anymore. You have to put all these weird copyright protections. You have to change the pitch of the audio. You have to do all these things just to mask it from the auto copyright bots. So it ruins a lot of the content that you can do. Even in a long form critique where you go point by point and then you want to play a clip just to show the example of something. It's irritating. So I feel like Twitch is going to get to that point where it does the same thing, but only if Amazon wants to crack down on it, because I don't think Amazon is afraid of Twitch going down. We'll see. So
Make me
get past this.
Such that like they feel they need to dictate what other people's content is like, I guess. Streaming isn't supposed to be watching boobies and getting in a hot tub. That's not what you're supposed to do.
I think this is more referring to the whole thing where people took advantage of the terms of service on Twitch, where they said you could only be in a bikini if you were in water. So people had hot tub streams. So I think that's just what she's referencing here when there's a big stink about it with a lot of the community about hot tub streamers being a big thing. So I have nothing to say about that because I don't really have too many gripes with it.
You know what I mean? And it's like, okay, well, who are you to dictate that? The platform should dictate that, or, you know, DMCAs would dictate that. You know what I mean? And
platform should dictate what's on the platform.
Also, it's the same thing with this. It's like,
and eventually it's going to crack down on this type of stuff. So that's what she should be worried about.
I know you have an idea of what you think React content should be, but, you know, that's like your opinion, man.
Like the reference, but React content should be transformative. That's the whole point of transforming a work so that it's your own work. You can't really say that it's your own work. Like they could DMCA strike them, but when you DMCA strike people as a personal person, so as not a so here's more of a better example. So everybody got really mad at Nintendo because every channel that ever had just the music from the games, every YouTube channel that had music from the games got pretty much completely shut down if they didn't remove all the videos with the music in them. And everybody got super mad at Nintendo, and that happens to a similar extent with individual creators, not necessarily companies. Like if you are an individual creator and you start cracking down on people, a big vendetta is had against you by almost every other creator, but that it's only depending on how or for what reason that you DMCA people, right? Because if someone was just playing my stuff on their channel and didn't have any links to my stuff, didn't have any reference to my Twitch name or my YouTube name, I would get pretty upset. But I think that's just at least my opinion, that you shouldn't be stealing people's content in the first place. But I'm gonna get a huge headache by the end of this because her section is really long and she makes a lot of bad points.
The video says you should add something when watching other people's videos.
Yes. Thank you, commenter in her chat.
I mean, I
Love
recognize
it.
that. But the thing is, there's no such...
She recognizes it, but then she's gonna justify
There are streamers who just watch content and say nothing. Literally nothing the whole...
And I feel like, so I've watched this video before, but I haven't watched it in a while. So the person who edited this is usually inputs examples of this. So right now she's going, are there people who just watch streams without saying anything? So I feel like there's going to be a clip right here of her doing it.
Whole time. And if you have a problem
Please?
and you're like, I don't want you to be able to watch my content on your stream, then you can just fucking send a fucking DMCA notice or whatever. If you're reacting to...
Oh, they didn't put an edit there. Oh, come on. No, there's another edit of her watching Hell's Kitchen, the show, and pretty much just sitting there.
one video, and
It's kind of funny.
you are reacting to the video, and then you're going to edit it down. You're going to just edit down all the things that you said that were funny. And if you think of something that's funny later, you can just go back in and talk about it. You know what I mean? So you can be like,
But yeah, that's true. With YouTube content, you have more control over what dead space there is and isn't. And in a Twitch case, in a Twitch case or a live stream case, you have to find something to fill that empty space. But it seems like people have found their own meta of just inputting whatever they want into that dead space, whether it be legal or not.
wait, so like, what? Oh my god, I'm reacting. Look at the funny. Oh my god, funny. And then when there's like blocks where you're saying nothing, you just cut that out because it's not funny. But on stream, you have to do that for like fucking 5 hours.
You don't have to do it 5 hours straight. You can always make multiple streams in a day. I know most people don't think that's viable, mostly because your channel can only hold so many VODs at a time. But that would be a job for your YouTube handler, right? Because a lot of people will have a YouTube channel that they pay to edit down their stuff and then post it online, right? So that I can understand why people wouldn't want to do that, but it is an option. You can do it. You just have to have someone that works when you do to edit down your stuff.
Straight? Are you kidding me? You can't be that funny for that long. Also, the people who be like,
Well, if you can't be funny for that long, you probably shouldn't be an entertainer. I mean, I'm not that funny, but I feel like I still have something to say despite that. It's not like I would say I'm not really that funny of a channel. I would say I'm more of a practical channel. Like, I'll play the game and I'll talk about balance. Sometimes I'll talk about what's funny about certain things, but I'm not the funny one most of the time. I'll get in funny situations and then point it out. Or in this situation, I'm just pointing out hypocrisy and bad arguments just because it's a practical thing. You can take a look at the words that they say and then just destroy them. You don't have to take a look at their character and then use that to go against their arguments. It's if you need the definition of ad hominem, that's really what it is. It's taking a look at someone's actions or character and then using that to defeat their arguments, and I don't appreciate that. It's a very bad fallacy. So continue. Let's see what she has to say.
like, why don't you react harder? Tend to be the most unfunny people on the planet. They tend to be the people who like you can create a whole ass setup for them and they can't even like capitalize.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing that these guys are capitalizing is on other people's content at that point. Because it's true. I'm not the funniest person. She's right. I'm someone who says that you should react harder. It's a horrible line for people to say. I know where it comes from. I think it's something that XQC said first. But it's this idea that if you tell someone that they're not reacting hard enough, they're wrong. But it's more like if you're not reacting hard enough, you are committing a crime. But a crime that Twitch can't handle yet. Like, DMCA is the only thing you can do, and DMCA is really a big hassle. especially if it's a bigger creator and you have a smaller creator that's DMCAing them. The bigger creator has an advantage in that situation just because of the whole lawsuit thing. It costs money, and often you won't get your money back in that situation. So we'll see.
On stream, there would be downtime where commentary can't be made and chat would lose its mind if the streamer kept pausing. Dude, chat like gets mad at me for pausing. I bet you.
If your chat is mad at you for pausing, it means that you don't really have a lot to say, right? It means that they want to watch the content and not you. And yeah, I could see that, but then you probably should just ignore them most of the time. She'll in some of this part, she'll often say that chat doesn't know what they want or chat doesn't know what they're thinking. So if that's the case, then you don't have to listen to them getting mad at you.
There's someone in here who's like, can this stupid bitch just press play? Just watch 30 minutes of the video. Surely, how are we going to get through this hour? You know what I mean? Is this a Frogan emote or is this like a BTTV emote? Because chat, just, you know, don't take other people's emotes. For the people in here who make emotes and stuff or publish them, don't take other people's emotes.
And here's an example that Mahler put in for hypocrisy, in that, or not hypocrisy, but just her not seeing the similarities in the situation. Like, she's telling people not to steal emotes, but she steals content. It's worse. She, I would say, is worse than all relevant. Just the fact that she also takes part in stealing the content thing. Oh, yeah, it's not okay.
Just whips right over top, knocks him.
Okay, I already feel like there's a bias here because so far every single person that he's shown on stream that makes good React content is not American. So this guy just doesn't like Americans for sure.
No, this is, I feel like, the funniest thing in this whole video is her thinking that Jay has like a bias against Americans. It's so weird. Because yes, Jay has a lot of non-American friends, but that's just because he's from a British country. It's just so weird to me. Even if it is online. Like, he has plenty of friends that are American. But I guess his examples of media that he likes is from English people, and maybe it's just a correlation, not a cause. Or it's more of a situation where he just happens to like a lot of English creators rather than American creators.
Yujiya said, seems like a coincidence.
Exactly. It's a coincidence, and she makes it out to be a bias of his. And I can tell her right now, I am American as it gets. I'm born and raised, and yes, my family is from other places, but and I'm from the same region as her, West Coast, so you can't say anything about that. I am American, and I don't like this. I don't like people stealing. How about that? Perfect. Seal of approval from Americans.
He's so far shown like 3 or 4 different people or whatever the fuck is, and they've all of them have been non-American.
Great.
Basically just the same experience as watching whatever they're reacting to, then essentially they're just reposting something someone else made to their audience, reaping the rewards of someone else's work under the guise of reacting to it.
Perfectly said. Thank you, Jay. I feel like none of these guys will listen to that part. Like, I'm very eager to see what she says.
Wrong. This is literally wrong. If anything, this video should have been edited, because I know videos that are this long tend to take like an hour, tend to take like months to make, or at least a month to make. From talking with more like video essayists and stuff.
But are you gonna talk to the point? Is she gonna talk to the point? Let's see.
Sorry.
Stop.
There's like some
chewing into the mic. My God.
What was I gonna say? Oh yeah. This should have been very evident from like the amount of people that wanted to watch like Death Note on stream, or the amount of people that want to watch like MasterChef or Hell's Kitchen on stream. Like, it stops being one person making content, like a person making react content, and it starts being like a bunch of people watching something together as like friends almost, right? So
yeah, watching together as friends, although when you're that's something you could do in your own house if you don't make money off of that in that situation. But in this case, streamers are making money off of watching stuff with friends, and the friends don't get anything but the watching with friends part, while the streamer gets the watching with friends part and the money, which then makes it a breach of copyright at that point. Like if what company, whatever company produces Hell's Kitchen, if they get a hold of, if they see what's happening on Twitch with Hell's Kitchen, they could destroy everything that has to do with Hell's Kitchen on Twitch. That's it's a horrible situation, and for her to say that it's just because people want to watch it with each other. Yeah, you can watch it with each other. Do that on a Discord or something. You don't make money off of the Discord streams. But to do it on Twitch, that's a different story, because you can get bit donations, you can get ad revenue, you can get all sorts of things that provide you money for playing other people's content. So I think that the main point of contention with that is she's saying that it's a communal thing, and someone in her comment section will later say, "Oh, it's like watching something with stoner friends," and that's, yeah, but there's an inherent difference with that, and that's that the person who's leading the charge is making money off of it, which isn't okay.
like, even if like there are times when I am streaming Hell's Kitchen and I don't even feel like I'm adding that much, but it's like about like the almost always going to be less fun than watching it with other.
I'm just gonna skip ahead
and
a little bit.
like made obvious during like the peak of like the Pokemon getting banned and Disguised Toast and everything like that. Just a watch party, yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah, and the thing that she's referencing, I don't know how Pokemon got banned, but I know that Disguised Toast, big streamer, he was streaming Naruto, and he got banned, and I would understand why. Usually, a lot of the anime companies are super touchy on their products. A lot of Japanese companies are very touchy on the copyright situation. Like the reason I mentioned Nintendo is because of that. Okay.
So I wouldn't watch shows like MasterChef or HK without people like you or Hassan. There's an entertainment value. Yeah, of course. It's like vibing with stoner friends. Exactly. Yeah. I think that this in specific, or like this guy, I don't know anything about this dude, but like this guy, obviously this is more lazy content or whatever, but like, first of all, A, I don't know who the fuck is watching this, and B, like, is it literally just you don't want someone else to profit because you're putting in so much hard work and they aren't?
Yeah, kind of. But also in this case, she's referencing Jinx, this guy here, and she says, well, who even wants to watch this type of stuff? If you don't know who Jinx is essentially the YouTube version of what Twitch does now, or a lot of popular Twitch streamers do now with React content. But he would essentially put his face in the corner, like what you can see over here, and just sit there going like this so he would watch maybe a funny video and just go like this. Wow. What? Wow. And just make some little things, and then but a majority of the time sit there. And YouTube already cracked down on that type of content really quick. Or it's not even that YouTube did, it's just that every creator cracked down on that type of content really, really fast. Especially with a popular creator like Jax Films, who made a parody of it and just tore him apart at the end of the parody, because the parody was him watching Jinx react to his video, and just sitting there smiling during the entirety of Jinx's video. And it's quite painful to look at because he smiles through the entire duration. But that's people already crack down on this type of content. It's just strange to see it coming up on Twitch again. If I already said this in my first part, sorry, but something I like to mention. Just because it's just appalling to me. But she says that, like, who even watches this type of stuff? Jinx was very popular. He was the most popular version of that type of React content. And he got a lot of money for it. A lot of views, a lot of subscribers. He had so many viewers. So for her to say who watches this type of stuff, your audience watches this type of stuff. Because they're watching you. Sorry, but it's true.
Then why don't you do what they're doing? Do you know what I mean? Like, this is the thing that I don't really understand.
Oh, why don't you do what they're doing? This is the thing that I always hear. Always hear. From everybody who so whenever I bring up like a balance issue in video games or something, it's the same thing that people say. Well, why don't you do it if it's so easy? Because it's not fun to just automatically win, right? It's not in that situation. But in this situation, it's more of, I don't want to take a hit to blow to my moral character for that. I'm stealing knowingly at that point. If I were to do that too, I would be stealing knowingly. I almost had this idea that I could make a parody channel where all I do is just have like 6 streams up at the same time and just let it play for the entire day. The stream of other people's streams. But every single time I think of doing that type of parody, it just feels bad because I would be stealing. You know? It's just so... why? Why do you think like this? Why don't you just do it? If you're so mad that people are killing your parents, why don't you just kill their parents? It's the same thing. It's so dumb. I know that's a very extreme example, but it's the only way to get that point across is that it's if you give any situation where something that people don't like that benefits them, and you say that if someone doesn't like something and it benefits the person that's doing it to them, just to say that to do it back to them, that's not eye for an eye. And I feel like no one knows the saying eye for an eye makes the world go blind. It's something that people said all throughout.
Sometimes you need
everything.
An extreme example.
I know, sometimes you do. And I mean, the easiest and most simple example is the quote that everybody should know by her age, at least. And it's an eye for an eye makes the world go blind. It's doing things back to people just only results in more violence. And pretty much everybody getting hurt. You should just go more by the thing that people spouted during my youth, that is, treat people how you want to be treated. And I guess they don't care about their stuff being lifted, their content being lifted, because that's how they feel, but that's not how everybody feels, you know. And if my content was being lifted and they were to shout me out, or maybe not even watch the whole thing, or just not leave during my clip, I would be fine with that. But if it's their filler content, they just play my video while they go do something else, that's stupid. Stupid. I don't even know where you get the idea that that's okay.
Because it's not like they're benefiting at like your
at your expense is what she's trying to say. But to an extent, yes, they are benefiting at your expense. It's especially with when you see in Jay's video, he has a bump in viewership for 1 hour, which is when Hassan was... Oh, my eyes. I'm so tired. But when Hassan was watching Jay's video, he had an hour bump of, I think, like 80 viewers. I don't know if it's 80 or it's 180. But either way, it's for a single hour he got 80 or to 180. We'll see it later, but that's my best guess because I haven't seen it in a while. But that's nothing in YouTube in a YouTube sense. 80 viewers is nothing in YouTube. So essentially they are doing it at their expense in that particular situation, because Hassan has tens of thousands of viewers. And all those people don't need to watch Jade's video anymore because it was just playing while Hassan was making chicken.
On YouTube, it's a little bit different because if people watch their video instead of yours, like these videos are so boring that like surely like who cares? And if you really think that like this content is so easy and it's fucked up that they're profiting so much, like then why don't you just make the content? It's like, well, I'm better than that. It's like,
don't say that. Yes, they are better than that.
Then I don't know what to tell you. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, you don't know what to tell them because you have no morals. It makes me upset that people grow up and still act like this. I feel like I'm talking to the children I work with every single day. It's insane. But why shouldn't I punch the kid who called me a dummy? Because you don't want them to punch you back. The simplest thing.
like, okay. Also, yeah, is this guy really think he's making a discovery, finding out that like React content is low effort? That's the thing.
So she's admitting it. I love it.
I don't get it either. It's like everybody knows React content is low effort. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I know React content is low effort because I've made like fucking videos. The videos take so much more time. They take like hours and hours and hours of time. And also, I think it's different.
So she knows how much effort it takes to make the videos, and for someone to just lift the video into a stream is horrible. It's stupid. Because if it's that high, if she knows how much effort it takes to make a YouTube video, then she knows. She knows why. She knows why that it should be wrong, but she does it for some reason.
Different skills. I think being able
the premises are there, but she's not connecting them. It's just, I guess it's to each their own.
Like watch a video and point out all the funny things, where's the funny, is it has its own, like, you have to have your own skill to be able to do that you have to like practice and train or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, it is a skill to talk in front of the camera for a very long time, which is why it's irritating that some people don't even take the time to learn that skill. All they use is their high school bubbly personality and just get through it because they have all of that training beforehand. It's because for me, I would say I was that weird guy who everybody knew for some reason, so I was almost popular, but no one actually wanted to hang out with me. Like my friend group wanted to, but I was popular enough that people knew who I was. Mostly because I make a name for myself by doing weird stuff, and being able to fit in with most people. But it's not like I didn't have to practice to at least talk in front of a camera. It was pretty difficult for me when I first started. I found I was looking through my recordings to try to make to post one of my attempts at Margit the boss in Elden Ring. And I found an old recording of my first ever stream where I was too nervous to speak in front. I didn't have a camera, but I had a mic at that time, and I was too nervous to speak because I just didn't feel like I had what it took. But I guess I do have what it takes to be a streamer. Because I can just sit there with my mic covering half my face and just go, "Hi guys." Blah, 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 blah. I'm entertaining, right? I can make funny, cute noises. And it's not to poke fun at only female streamers, because male streamers do it too. We have people like XQC who just scream a lot or rage all the time, and that's the male equivalent to girls making cute noises. It's the people who just want to see something wacky. But I can get behind that. If you like wacky content, that's on you. But it's just not my cup of tea.
Whereas like you making YouTube videos has their own skills as well. You know what I mean? Like there are so many videos, there are so many people who like you can sit down and watch a video with them and they have nothing to say about the video. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's why you shouldn't have it on your stream. You should watch it in your downtime when you're not streaming. If you don't have anything to say, don't watch it.
They'll be like, "Oh, that was a good video," and it's like, "Do you have any other opinions or anything?" So like they take different skills.
No, it's mostly because I've thought about doing commentary streams before I started covering this video, because this is my first video that I've covered, or at least started covering, and I never thought that I could add to something until I saw this one, because I just saw so many horrible things that they would say, and so many things that weren't covered in the coverage of this that I've seen before. I've already seen someone cover this, and it was the Every Frame a Pause group, EFAP, and they went off on a lot of tangents that didn't have to do with this content itself, so they kind of lost their points halfway through a lot of the time, and it made it very difficult for me to reconcile with what they were doing, because they were reacting to the stuff, but they weren't addressing the points that were more important. So one thing that they would point out that on that stream was, if you can see in her background, her bed isn't made. So they're poking fun at that instead of looking at what she was saying, because if you look at what she's saying, there's so much more to make fun of there. There's so much more to look at than just what's in the background, or what things are wrong in the background that you can make fun of, you know? Or the fact that the microphone is covering half her face, or that they're making lip smacking noises right in front of their mic, and that's something you can poke fun at, but that's not the point that they're making. The point that they're making is just really dumb. So if you can create counterpoints in real time on a live stream, then do it. And they had 6 people on that stream, and they were still not doing it. So that's why I'm doing this, because I feel like I needed to say something.
Still think that React content is easier, but yes. I don't like this shitting on React content for literally like no reason or whatever.
Look at the reasoning, and then you can say no reason.
I don't know.
Look at the reasoning.
It's why
first.
I watch like 20 React videos for the Halo TV series. I want to feel the hype with others. Exactly.
And if you want to feel the hype with others, invite your friends. And if you don't have friends, do it on a Discord call or something, or make a Discord stream. Have a community where you make Discord streams instead. You don't make money off of that. You just distribute it to other people. Although that still is stealing, it's much less bad than giving money to someone to give you someone else's content.
Video where Jinx just freeboots someone else's work, adding nothing. He gets 5 million views.
Yeah, this is the extent of how ridiculous it was.
Now, what I'm not doing here is I am definitely.
But see, like, he's self-aware. So like, see, he's like literally.
But that's a joke. That's a joke. Yes, he can, and yes, he can be salty about that, but it doesn't mean that his point isn't valid. Like I said in the first stream, there are so many things that don't make your point invalid. I took a logic class, and I know what, to a basic understanding. I've forgotten a lot of what was in that, but I know in a basic way that being angry doesn't invalidate your argument, and being salty doesn't invalidate your argument. And a point, and there are many stances that you can take on certain aspects or on certain situations. Like me, I'm very undecided on a lot of different things, and it doesn't mean that I'm any more wrong than someone else who takes a huge stand for something that they don't really know about. You know, I don't know about something. I'm gonna not make it a part of me. You know, just like I won't say that. The only thing that I know is that YouTube is hard because I've tried to make a video before and I just gave up. So what I've been doing on my YouTube channel is just reposting some of the stuff that my Twitch channel can't hold, because my VODs don't stay forever on my Twitch. So what I'll do is just repost my VODs until I reach affiliate and I can keep my VODs. But for now, that's what my YouTube channel is for.
Really self-aware, you know what I mean? That it's at the end of the day, a lot of this is like, it feels like most people have a direct emotion about something, and then
see, this is content. I like this. Why can't she do this more of the time? Maybe have this drawing pad open above covering her chat or something. Because why do you have to have your chat on the stream? That's something I've never understood. You can already see it.
Said, drawing fun time.
Yeah, why doesn't she have the drawing pad above her head, and then whenever she's reacting to something, she can make fun of it with her drawings. Even if they're rudimentary, it's fine. It's more entertaining than just sitting there eating or just hardly emoting at the content.
They try to come up with some rational.
Because then it's your content. You have something you have a drawing that's reacting to it, and that's not miles. I don't know what word to use, but way, way better. To me, at least.
Rationalization on like why their emotion is valid rather than the other way around. So like rather than, hey, this is how, these are like, this is information about this thing and my opinions about these things, and this should make you feel a certain way.
Yeah, well, so here's the situation. She's taking someone's video and saying that the top example is what's happening. Even if that's the case, what the top example is doing is presenting the evidence so that is making it so that people who are watching it will experience the second part. That's something that a lot of people don't understand, is that if you're seeing something that's giving you information, you're essentially, and you're having an emotional reaction to that, that's the second argument. So for Jay to make a video, even if he was just seething with rage about the whole situation, which he isn't, he's very, very succinct and charitable in his video. Even if you're actually angry and then used this evidence to justify it, all that evidence points to is still a bad outcome. Like, all the evidence that he found in favor of his point is still in favor of the audience going, oh, that's not okay, that's not good. It's insane that she thinks that just because you would have an emotional reaction and then you can find evidence for it, but that would just be evidence in your mind. But if the evidence that is presented in that video leads the audience to have that emotional reaction, then you should be all for that. Because that's a lot of the case. There's that stuff happens. It's mostly in science where you start with evidence and then you make a conclusion on it. Even then, a lot of times you start with an idea. So you start with an idea and then you make a hypothesis about it. So even then you're starting with the top section. And the bottom section is what you do in your conclusion section. So it's like she's not reading it as an essay, because even as a video essay, Jay is starting with his premise at the top and then presenting the evidence and then making a conclusion about the evidence afterwards. It's well written. His video is really well written, and it's upsetting that these guys just don't respect that. Because he has both of these. He has both of these things that she says. What? Oh my god. It
feels
insane.
like most people do this, and like he's self-aware about the fact that like at the end of the day, a lot of his reasoning or whatever, probably for making this video, has to do with the fact that it's like, I'm mad that these people get to make such low effort content and I don't think that they should be able to, and I'm going to come up with rationalizations after the fact, post hoc, rather than the other way around.
Well, it's more like if I were to if I were to say that, what's something that's not gonna get me banned? If I were to make a hypothetical about it. Ooh. Okay. If I were a foreigner and I were to say that all Americans were evil people who are gonna kill foreigners, and that was my start. So the frowny face that's my emotional reaction to seeing all these news stories about people getting attacked, right? Then I go over to the country, or no, even then I don't even have to go over to the country. I can look at every news story from a certain channel and then realize that a certain channel is just doing that. It's the channel that is portraying that part of the media, is portraying that part of people being attacked for being foreigners. So you can find on another news site that it's not all that's happening. And another example, you could find that evidence, which is the papers. You can find the evidence by even going to the country to see if it's true. And then afterwards, you can make a different face, because you could go, oh, I've realized that foreigners don't just automatically get attacked. It happens, but it doesn't mean that it's all that happens to Americans. It doesn't mean that Americans are the ones who are doing this. It's just people who are crazy most of the time. So even in this thing, it's the concept of science. It's the concept of testing something, testing a hypothesis and seeing if it's true, and then you change your opinion on it later. Because a hypothesis is the beginning part, is that frowny face. The frowny face is your emotional reaction. That's what you'll have. But you could do that with movie critique. If you didn't like a certain movie because you just didn't like it, and you go through the movie and you realize that it's actually really well written, you just didn't like the concepts in it, your reaction afterwards could be, okay, I know I don't like this movie, but it doesn't mean that it's automatically bad. That could be a totally valid thing.
You know what I mean?
I'm just tired.
If I was an animator, I would make React content, including my own animations. Animators are notorious about being non-content brain. I know.
And she's essentially at this point making fun of how she said animators are non-content brains, which means they're not optimizing their content creation. And all I could say to that is she has no concept of how hard animation is if she says that. Because you can make very simple animations.
Said, ... Animation is difficult.
Animation is very difficult. I taught it. I was a TA for my animation class in my senior year of high school. I know how hard it is and how long it takes to make a very simple animation. And some of my best animations were made in that TA position because I took the class the previous year. Didn't do very well.
I make animations for my channel.
Yeah, and it takes a while. And it's almost, the way she says that is almost making fun of the fact that when the YouTube algorithm changed and it was promoting, it was more likely to promote daily 10-minute videos. When that change happened to YouTube, a lot of animators suffered for it. And it just feels really mean to animators at that point to just call them non-content brained or non-optimized, but they are optimized. They would just have to work twice or 20 times harder than you would as a Twitch streamer doing React content, and still make less money off of it because YouTube doesn't work like that. It's really sad for animators that want to get somewhere on a platform like Twitch or YouTube. If you really want to make money as an animator, you kind of have to work for a studio. And at that point, you just have resources. You don't have free reign to animate the way you want, which is always an issue. Because I've always wanted to do a rotoscope movie or a rotoscope video, and as a TA, I did a rotoscope, but it took a while. It took a very long time, and I got really burnt out on it. So maybe I'll share a link to it eventually. I'll download it.
Yujiya
Not
said,
ready to show that.
definitely.
Yeah.
At this point, you can't be working alone on animation.
Exactly. And the only people who do have way too much dedication or are really good at drawing really fast. And that's not me. I'm slow. I'm a very slow drawer.
This sounds like weird jealousy. Why does this dude care about what other people are doing? Yeah, I just don't get it. And if you don't like that other people are reacting to your
I mean, if I saw people killing other people on the street, I would care about what they're doing. There's another extreme example, but the person in her chat is just really weird. Because if you are doing something bad, you can be harming someone, and in this situation, you'd be harming someone else's channel analytics. I mean, they would be less likely to watch the video on their own. So, yeah. She'll make the point she wants.
content. You can just probably, first of all, you can message these people most of the time and be like, don't react to my content.
But I don't care if you see. If someone told me not to react, I said this in the first part, but if someone told me not to react to their content, I can say, no, I'm going to react to your content, but it's going to be my content at that point, the way I react to it, because this is not the video. If someone were to play this video for the EFAP crew and Mahler, the one who edited it, they could say, oh yeah, that's not my video anymore. This is just this guy talking, using this as a springboard, and that's what it is. It's me using this video and the arguments that these Twitch streamers make is, oh my god. Oh my god. My brain is exploding, and
I don't want you to react
10
to my
minutes into the video. Wait. Yeah, I'm only 10 minutes into the video. This portion. Oh no. Because they have 3 more sections of Denims.
And if they are still reacting or whatever, then,
I might skip
or like
one.
you don't feel like they're reacting hard enough, then
We'll
you can
see.
always try and like fucking DMCA them or whatever the fuck. It just seems weird. Like,
But she should know at this point that DMCAing people doesn't get you the best reputation. So I think Jay did the better thing by not DMCAing Hassan and just saying, Hassan, this wasn't cool. I'm going to show you all the reasons why.
like, especially like maybe it's from my perspective too. When I make YouTube content, I want people to watch it on their stream. I want people to watch my content on their stream. So I don't.
But I can assure you that she doesn't want people watching it on their stream, covering up her channel name and covering up her face on the video. Because that's the reason Jay made it in the first place. Jay made this video in the first place is because the channel name was blocked. You couldn't even see the icon for the channel name, and you could only see it for I believe I said this last time, but I say sub 10 seconds. So you have to go back and watch the VOD in order to find it most of the time. Most of the viewers would. And I think it was a 13-minute video. And Hassan specifically clicked off before Jay could advertise himself, because Jay does a lot of, oh, this is what I'm working on right now. So these are all the people that donated to me on Patreon. All the end credit stuff, but it's the stuff that you're working on that gives you a chance to see what the channel's like, and that would give ample opportunity for people on your stream to go watch them. But in her idea is that everybody will show the channel name and allow and push people towards her channel. But that's not the case in Jay's situation. That's why Jay was upset about it. It's I don't think she knows the situation as well as she thinks she does.
I don't even get the perspective of like, no, why don't watch my content or whatever. I don't know. Like a Twitch streamer watching your video is not, if anything, you're probably going to get more subs and viewers because
yeah, that's true. If they shout you out or even have you on the Twitch stream to talk about your video, that'd be cool. I would love that. If someone invited me on their Twitch or a YouTube stream or something and had me talk with them about my content, that would be awesome. I've done that with my sister before, although I've only gotten like 3 or 4 viewers from that, or 3 or 4 followers. But that's just because I don't do the type of content that her viewers are interested in. But even then, she helped me out because she also has few followers, but she does game development streams. She creates video games. So, but in that case, she had got me shouted out. They didn't find my channel, but she's also rated me too. That's oh my goodness. Because rating is another good way to do that type of thing. If you really wanted to support a channel, you rate it, like a smaller channel. You rate it and then have people enjoy the content. But I don't think these bigger streamers think like that. I don't think I don't think that they think they need to help smaller streamers. Because I know a lot of Disguised Toast's journey is helping smaller streamers get their start. Because Disguised Toast talks about that a lot, where he goes, "Oh yeah, I really enjoy helping other people start up their streams and get more popular." And it's a really cool thing of him, but not a lot of big streamers do that. And in this case, the big streamers are not only not promoting smaller content, but they're stealing the content from the smaller creator and not letting people know who the person is or what the content is or where you can find that content.
Twitch streamers watching your video. Do you know what I mean? Like a YouTuber on the same platform as you is kind of, I can see how you can view that as like they're literally taking views away from you. So instead of like, if someone looks up your video title on
So her opinion here is that if it's on the same platform, it's wrong, but if it isn't on the same platform, it's fine. I don't see how that makes it any different. I don't see how that makes it any different. Either way, it's bad.
on YouTube, they might click on yours first or whatever. Jack made this video essay very early in the React metas before we knew React channels helped or hurt channel growth.
It's a lot of these streamers' reactions will include them reading comments that are really not well informed, and this comment is telling her that Jack's film. So I told you about the parody where he just smiles throughout the entire video. Jack making his parody video in the early days of React content, before we find out whether it helps or hurts channels. It's not about whether it helps or hurts channels. It's about the I don't know what it's about at this point. Because nothing I could say would convince these guys that it's not okay. And even at some point in her thing, she takes the chance to talk with Jay about the situation and caves to everything that Jay says, and then right away starts insulting him after he leaves and makes a video talking about how bad his video is. And it's so, and everything she says is hilarious. All the comments under her video covering it is hilarious. It's great. And I'll go through some of that at some point.
Wait, but this is February. This just came out yesterday. Sorry.
And obviously Jack is what?
No, she's confused. I get it, but she's confused that Jay's video came out February 1st, but Jack's Films video came out years ago. The Jack's Films parody video where he destroys Jinx.
Well within his rights to react this way, because there's really no meaningful difference between what Jinx did and someone just downloading and then reposting one of Jack's videos. Just because some people are okay with this kind of thing doesn't mean you get to go around doing it to everyone. Your partner might be really into hard cactus play, but before you whip out your favorite Acanthosarius tetragonus, you're going to check. I chose this picture because it looked a bit like a willy.
I love Jay. He has like a really weird sense of innocent, but but not at the same time. And this is an example. I love it. Love Jay. And this isn't to say that I'm biased against these guys because they're taking a hit at Jay. I have looked at Jay's stuff and said, okay, I don't really get it very much, because in an earlier situation, he just doesn't understand. My tinnitus is really bad. But I looked at something that Jay has said and said, okay, yeah, that was a little uncalled for. But he, for the most part in this video at least, he's been very, very charitable and overall very nice to these guys, despite how they all the charity they give him, or the lack thereof. Insane. And she starts making fun of. I'm just gonna skip. She starts making fun of his joke there. I'm fine.
You know, it'd be really funny
with her
getting up and going to the
it.
bathroom and letting it play.
See, and at this point, you just realize she doesn't care. She doesn't care about the points made because she's just.
That would be funny. You like to watch political content and political streaming reaction stuff because it's like you're getting someone that curates videos for you for like 5, 6, 7, 8 hours. You know what I mean? You don't have to go on YouTube and be like, funny video, good video to watch.
A video curator, that could be better. I like that situation more if you didn't make money off of it at that point. If people paid you to curate for them, that's I don't know. You could just leave a playlist. You could just have a link to a playlist on your YouTube channel of the videos that you think are funny. That would be cool. And a playlist gives views to the channel creator, to the person that made the original video. That would be a very good solution. You don't have to watch other people's videos on your stream. You don't have to do it. Especially if you're just going to leave it playing while you leave. Ugh.
Want to watch video while eating. You know what I mean? You get to just open a stream and you know this streamer is going to have content that's going to be worth watching.
Not every time. Some people have horrible taste in YouTube. I know that's why I don't usually watch a lot of Twitch streams. Is because I don't think a lot of Twitch streamers are entertaining in a way that a lot of YouTubers are. But that's just my take. That's just my perspective on it, and I don't get mad at anybody else for wanting to see that type of content. Especially since the downtime in a lot of bigger streamers is pretty large, like where they don't say anything. And I know it's because they're trying to increase their longevity with their voice and everything, or with them not burning themselves out. But at that point, you should just take a break. You should make it like a Twitch. I feel like at this point, Twitch streams should just be a day of preparing and then 3 hours of dense streaming. Unless you're playing a game, because that's the problem with just chatting section, is because people can just do this and that it's very low density content. And they think it's fine to do it. And I'm just not understanding at this point. My brain is hurting and I want to take a nap. Let's see. I feel like I'm just going to go through these 2 sections and I'll end it. I can't do the 3rd section until later.
It's kind of like a lose-lose.
I'll probably save it for
streamers,
next week.
Sort of, because if you like, you guys understand, like if you're streaming for a lot of hours, sometimes you just like need a break. Like you just want to like go like take a walk for 5 minutes.
Yeah. Stop the stream and do that.
And you want to know what? You would
And you often don't get paid for longer breaks in a real job. Sorry, not a real job. In a clock in, clock out job. You don't get paid for breaks a lot of the time. You only get a 10-minute break for the entire day of working. So in this situation where she goes, you just want to take a walk. Yeah, you could take a walk. Just stop getting paid while doing it.
would never want someone who works
and don't get paid for putting somebody else's content while you're doing it. That's my biggest issue with it. I know Jay will have a different perspective on that, but my biggest gripe with it is them justifying playing stuff while you're gone.
Customer service.
Because I could take a bathroom break. I could refill my water. Because on my last stream, I got up 3 times to go either to the bathroom or refill my water because I needed a lot of water that day. So I don't know what to say about this. It's just something that she's not getting.
To work like 5, 6.
And I really do wonder if these streamers have ever had a clock in, clock out job. Because I've had 2 clock in, clock out jobs and one that doesn't involve any clocking in or clocking out. And in either case, I had to be on my toes at almost every part of the day. Otherwise, I'd be getting chewed out for it. Except for my current job, I don't have to be on my toes constantly. I just have to be aware of my surroundings constantly. So it's more mentally taxing than physically. Because my previous clock in, clock out job was a security job. If I wasn't walking around, I would get yelled at by my superiors while my other coworkers would just sit around talking all day. It was kind of weird. I didn't like that. Yeah, let's get back to it. Less tangents will make it so
7, 8 hours a day without a single like 5-minute, 10-minute break. Do you know what I mean? And
10-minute break.
Streamers are not incentivized to pause the videos while they're gone.
Of course they're not incentivized to pause the videos while they're gone. Are you kidding me? No, of course they're incentivized to not pause. But at that point you're just not there's this whole section down here is called "What does take pride in your work mean?" So I know when I say it, it doesn't mean anything, but at that point you're just not taking pride in your own work. You're not putting the work in. And if you think that you're doing a lot, if you think you deserve the money that you're getting for walking away and playing someone else's video, your parents did not do their job right. They did not do their job teaching you about morality. And if your parents relied on religion to do that for you, all the power to you. But I don't. Either way, morality has failed you. Because
when you fucking leave your computer, you can see any big streamer talk about this. Amaranth has talked about this. Hassan has talked about this. I can tell you from personal experience, this is true. When you pause the video, literally I have had times where I pause the video or like I unpause it or whatever. And I go literally for 5 minutes, never longer than fucking 5 minutes to go get food because I'm fucking hungry. Yeah. And I will lose like a quarter of my audience.
Then have something to play that is your own content or paid for content while you're gone so that your audience stays entertained. And if your audience can't stay there for 5 minutes waiting for you, then they have the attention span of a newborn puppy. It's insane. If your audience, because at that point your audience isn't there for you, they're there for the content that you're watching on the stream. So what use do you have? What use do you have as a streamer if your content is other people's content, essentially? It's just collecting other people's content. And even, in a lot of cases, you're not even collecting them. They don't even plan out a lot of the videos that they have to watch throughout the day. They just look at whatever seems interesting and then play it.
Hassan is like a big enough streamer that it doesn't really matter, and he can just pause the video and that's fine. But like, this is still like people's like income or whatever. Like, this is still people's like jobs or whatever. It's like the equivalent of like, you know, like ad block for YouTubers. You know what I mean?
I'm guessing what she means is that because ad block takes away from the revenue of YouTubers, it's the same thing as taking a break from streaming for 5 minutes takes away from your revenue as a Twitch streamer. And I could see that, but one of the things, one thing you have control over and the other you don't. Because you can't control whether people watch your YouTube videos with ad block on or not. While on Twitch, you can control whether your content or someone else's content is being played. And in that case, if they don't want to stick around for your content while you're taking a break, if the viewers don't want to stick around for that, then they weren't there for you. And those shouldn't be the people that you're catering for. Or those shouldn't be the people that you're catering to. The people you should be catering to are the people who actually want to see you. Because then you realize who actually cares about you and your content. I don't know what to say about that.
I'd rather watch Denims react to this video than watch it myself.
upsetting.
True. Like, I'm sorry that like you got unlucky.
Reaction content is as old as civilization itself. Mainstream news like Tucker Carlson are just reacting to the events of the day, and some.
But at least in the news, they're reading it out to you. They're the thing you're coming to watch. Is you're looking to tell people the event. Like the news channels are telling people the events of the day, but they're the ones telling it to you, right? If you can't, so if my channel was just watching the news all the time, that's all I did, you would come to my channel to find out what the news is, but from someone else's, from the news channel's perspective, not my perspective, because I wouldn't be saying it, you know? And news channels have their own biases, so if you like a certain bias, you go to a certain news channel. So for someone to equate that to if someone equates that to just reactions in general, that's not the same thing. And especially since news channels usually have to ask permission for a lot of things they do. A lot of the things. And you'll see.
Sometimes
she'll
even include video clips from Twitter that they didn't film themselves.
True.
And here's the cut.
Most clips that like you find on like CNN or MSM or any of those fucking news organizations, usually they find clips on Twitter and then they have to, I think legally.
See, look at the word she's using. Legally, they have to.
They have to message these people and be like, is it all right if we use your video in channel whatever news or whatever?
Oh, she found it. She has seen the light. And then she'll go right back on that statement. But she knows that it's a legal matter that they have. So she says true to support her argument about this person's take on how the news compares to React content. But in her situation, then she goes back on it immediately and then just says, oh yeah, but they still have to ask for permission from the person who posted the original Twitter video. They still have to do that legally. So she knows that it's an issue for the news channel. So it's not the same thing in that situation, because she doesn't ask permission to play Hell's Kitchen. She doesn't.
A friend of mine had like recorded this fucking like crazy storm in New York once, and like she posted on Twitter, and I forgot what news channel messaged her. They messaged her on Twitter and they were like, could we use your video for tomorrow's news cycle? And she was like, yeah, go for it.
Yeah. And that's what the law requires. So if she understands that, I feel like once again, the premises are there, but her brain is not connecting the two. Well,
and so like it's, you know what I mean?
I need to
His
die.
response is pretty obvious. It's not the content creator's responsibility to entertain the audience while you take a break. Yeah, no, I mean, like, I think that both are valid, you know, and both are like.
What did you just say?
His response would be pretty obvious. It's not the content creator's responsibility to entertain the audience while you take a break. Yeah, no, I mean, like, I think that both are valid, you know.
Both aren't valid. The person in her comment section just said, "Well, yeah, it's not the other YouTubers." It's not the YouTuber's responsibility to entertain your audience while you're away. Yes, that's they can't both be valid. Like they can't, especially in the legal sense.
No, and both are like, I think probably the original content creator has more of like a defense, but I'm just explaining why
more of a defense. More of a defense.
Streamers don't pause the video. It's because like when
why? Of course. I love it's more of an excuse rather than a okay, I guess it's not okay. It's more of a it's not okay, but here's why it happens anyway. When she takes part in this. So she understands that she's doing a moral bad in that situation. Or not a moral bad, but a legal bad. Because you can argue whether it's universally morally bad. Because sometimes you can argue about whether stealing is morally bad based on some philosophical perspectives. Because some people would say, oh, a poor person stealing a loaf of bread to feed their family, is that more positive in that situation? Is that a moral positive? It depends on your philosophical perspective. So, but she understands the legality of what she's doing is wrong. But she's just giving excuses.
Streamers pause the video, lots of people are like, okay, well, I'm gonna go watch something else. You know what I mean? And if you're a big content creator, maybe you shouldn't do that because you have enough viewers that it's fine.
No, you just shouldn't.
But if you're a smaller content creator, like you don't even have the like ability to do that or whatever. Not like ability, but you guys understand what I mean. I understand that you got unlucky, JXE. And that Hassan happened to go to the bathroom when your video was playing.
Okay, how are you gonna finish?
But like 99% of probably his content, he is like hardcore Pazanabi reacting.
It doesn't matter what percentage of your content is reaction. If you're doing a bad for any percentage of it, that's a bad. And that, I guess that would be more of in a there's a, I forget what the philosophical view, but it's the means don't matter if the ends just if the ends end in more positive than the means deal negatives. So I guess in that perspective, yeah, that's fine because you're doing a negative for one viewer or for one channel, while all your viewers are getting a net positive. But that's morally bankrupt at that point because there's a lot of topics that you can bring that philosophical view to that will put most of these guys at a roadblock. If anybody who actually believes in that version of morality, you can bring up a lot of topics where there'll be a roadblock and they have to go back on the philosophical view.
You know what I mean? I feel like he usually finds a clip for us to watch when he goes anywhere. Yeah.
I feel like it's got to be like it's got to be, I don't know, like someone who has a disability or something, right?
So this is one of the few things that Hassan said while playing Jay's video. And so I'll ask you, because I will post this on YouTube as well, so if anybody comments, before you look at the next part of this video, what do you think he means by that when he's saying, oh, might be someone who has a disability or something that would make a house this crazy, right? What possible perspective could he be saying there? Is it just saying that? So I'll leave a blank 5 seconds of me just standing like this, and I'll give people time to comment. And then the only way I can take that is that he suspects that people who have a disability are just messy, right? That only someone who's crazy might come up with something to do with that.
As someone with a disability, no.
Exactly. Because, oh my god, it's a little. It's something weird. Like there's no way you can spin that. That's nice, but then the way she finds a way to spin it, it makes it nicer. But it's not the way he said it. Like the way she says that because her justification is that he is saying it to get people to back off of making fun of the owner of the house. That he's saying, oh, it might be someone who has a disability, so stop making fun of the owner of the house. Which that's not how he said it. You can hear it. It's
when he goes anywhere. Yeah.
He stops the video because he's seeing all this crazy stuff and just goes.
It's gotta be like it's gotta be. I don't know. Like someone who has a disability or something, right?
If you're trying to defend people who have disabilities or the owner of the house because they might have a disability, what you would say is, well, maybe they have a disability or something and they can't take care of the house. Guys, stop dogpiling. Like that's something that you could say to defend them. But in this situation, it doesn't sound like he's defending someone with a disability owning that house. So I'm pretty much gonna skip over what she said. We'll listen to a little bit.
I'm not sure what part of.
And then she gets on Jay's case for interpreting it the way that any normal person would interpret the words he said.
Okay, sorry. I'm gonna say it again. I'm literally gonna say it again.
Literally, great.
This just seems like coping. I'm sorry. For this conversation is pretty hectic. Technically need at least a reasonable streaming permission to play a video game on stream, but people do it with little pushback. Yeah, obviously. Shouldn't this guy be happy as on reaction to this content as well?
I don't care about this stuff.
Why isn't the reactor laughing at my jokes?
Nope.
Okay, really quickly. A couple of points.
Here it is.
For starters, I want to go back to the point about how live streaming content is always going to be different than YouTube content because you can't edit out pieces.
I don't care.
You know what I mean?
I already know they're different. Everybody knows they're different.
There are a lot of brain fog, or you're thinking about other things. Like, I'm sorry, guys. Have you guys ever been at work before and then you get like a message from someone and they're like, oh my God, like my cat just died or something like that. And you literally can't think about work because you're too busy trying to like comfort this person or you're.
I have experienced that so many times. So many times. It doesn't mean that you can fall apart at work. And if you are going to fall apart at work, don't do it publicly. Or ask your boss if there's a possibility that you can go home because you're not feeling well. I've never done this, which I probably should have, because I have yelled at a child when having probably the worst feeling days of my life, plus no food. And it's not like he didn't instigate, but I overreacted, and it's a child. I shouldn't be yelling at a child. But in this case, if something is something bad is happening to you and you can't work, you need to get tougher skin. Because I know plenty of people who have bad things happen to them and then they still go to work and not act as if nothing happened, but will adapt accordingly. Because that's the whole thing. Humans are the only species who adapt, technically. Because we say adaptation is, you get a thicker coat if you are a animal that lives in the snow. No, that's natural selection. Adaptation is using things around you to live in that area despite your mechanical downsides, your biological downsides. So us humans, we can put other animals' skin on top of us to make make ourselves warmer in a cold climate. We are the adaptation, and it's same thing goes for emotional adaptation. If something bad is happening to in your life, there are ways to get around that, and that's up to you to learn those coping mechanisms. It's up to you to learn how to cope while growing up. And if you don't, that's what therapy's for. That's why psychologists are needed, is because a lot of people don't learn how to do that. So for her to say that this is just a case with everybody, it's a case with a lot of people, but those people should be seeking therapy instead of just falling apart.
You're too busy thinking about this or this or this or this or whatever. This happens to me all the time, where I'll be too busy thinking about something else while I'm constantly trying to think of a point to talk about on stream, and then it ends up just coming off as like, this is
how all our points come off. Because I'll do that occasionally, but it's mostly with me trying to get my point fully created in my mind before I say it, because I don't want to stop in the middle a lot of the time. And I'm not a big talker. I don't talk a lot in my normal life. So when it comes to streaming, I want to make sure that my thoughts are more clear than usual, at least. Because I don't want a lot of them to just be little snippets that people can take and edit into funny videos or something. I don't know. And lots of times I'll just be saying I want to die, but it's not too far off. I am so sick and tired of hearing these points.
Whatever, blah blah blah. You know what I mean? And also, yeah, Hassan apologized and said he wouldn't watch Jade's videos anymore, so I don't even understand.
So you heard what she said there, right? Well, listen what she says. She says Hassan apologized and said he wasn't going to watch Jade's videos anymore.
Also, yeah, Hassan apologized and said he wouldn't watch Jade's videos anymore, so
and that statement, and Hassan says it constantly, that statement, the problem with that statement is Jay never said, stop watching my videos. He's never in any sense said, stop watching my videos. In either this video, the parody stream he did of Hassan, and any tweets he's made or any comments he's made on other channels, he's never said, stop watching my stuff to Hassan, ever. And she's taking what Hassan says as something that's gospel at this point. And it's just a matter of her not doing her own research before going into this topic. But no, oh wow, I really do need to take a nap. I might end it after this one section, but because I can't handle this. I need to think, but just give me 10 seconds to regather myself, because I am falling apart. Okay, so, but like I said, Jay has never once said that for Hassan to stop watching his content. It's more of a bad apology, because you're apologizing for the wrong thing. It feels like when it feels like if there's like a husband and a wife arguing and the husband's apology is, oh, sorry, you overreacted. That's what it feels like almost. But it's more like if let's try to come up with a better analogy, because that's a little too far off. It'd be more of, imagine, okay, well, we can do this. We're gonna do an extreme one again. Imagine someone walks up to you and stabs you, and you go, hey dude, that's not okay. And he goes, oh, sorry, I won't stab you anymore. and then walks off. Are you going to think that person is okay to be living out in society? No. But that's the situation that it feels like, because Hassan is apologizing for the wrong thing. It's stabbing in general is not okay. It's not about stabbing me. It's about stabbing in general.
I don't even understand. Like, what?
And I probably shouldn't be using analogies, because every single time there's an analogy used and these guys react to it, it's like they've never heard an analogy in their life.
You know what I mean? The fourth wall doesn't really exist on Twitch. Also, I think Hassan said it was because chat was rolling the homeowner. Oh, okay, yeah. I mean, that makes sense.
Oh. So it was a comment. Okay. That's bad on me. I didn't realize that she started the whole Hassan said this to defend the homeowner. I didn't realize that was what that was for. But yeah, in this situation, she got it from a commenter and then rode that until she died. But that's just something a lot of Twitch streamers do, and I try not to. Because recently I had a person come on my stream and just say, "Hey, can you shout out this guy?" And I said, "I respect your shout out, but I can't shout out someone I don't know, because I don't want to be shouting out someone that might be a horrible person, or someone whose content I don't support." And the guy was pretty appreciative that, first off, I didn't ban him for asking to shout out people, because that's just weird to me that people ban people for shouting out. But in the situation is I don't take commenters' words as gospel. I will say, hey, if that's true, then that's pretty bad, but it might not be. So if someone were to say something really crazy, like Jeff Goldblum slapped, I don't know, Scarlett Johansson at a party, I wouldn't ride on that. I would just say, hey, oh wow, that sounds like a bad situation, but I'm not sure if that's true, so do your own research on that first before jumping on it, you know?
Sense. That makes sense.
That's all I can say about that. Yeah, so the person who edited this video just puts the context for him saying the whole maybe this person is a disabled person.
I don't have a chair planted in front of my laundry machine just so I can watch it run, but each to their own, eh?
I feel like it's gotta be like it's gotta be, I don't know.
There really was just nothing said until this.
Like someone
kind of
who
insane.
has a disability or something, right? Like it doesn't make any sense.
Oh wait.
The true fuck you would be for Hassan to not even watch this video on stream, or for Hassan to watch the video on stream and go to the bathroom the whole time.
So she's saying that for him to not watch the video on stream or to go to the bathroom. What's funny is the first part's true. He has not watched a single second of this video. He's not watched a single second of Jay's video, and will die on the hill that Jay's video is disingenuous to Hassan. Kind of insane.
I literally can't even wait to the end of the video to make my commentary. Otherwise, I'm gonna get called. I'm gonna be called on another lazy React streamer who isn't saying anything. So I literally have to be bad faith, whatever the fuck, and pause champing and saying my opinions.
No, you can be bad faith, but you can take it back immediately. I think that's the beauty of being an in the moment reactor. Is you can say something and then retract that immediately. You can just say, oh wait, sorry, I didn't mean that. Like just what I did right now. I assumed that it was her who came up with the justification that Hassan was trying to get people to back off the homeowner for being disabled. But it was from a commenter that she got that idea. So it wasn't her original thought. So
like all the way through. Do you know what I mean? Why watch it on stream then if you can't add anything to it?
Thank you, commenter. Yay. Well, how does she react?
Well, Wade Carroll, I see this is your first message here, or at least for today, it is your it is your first message ever. If you could wait for 2 seconds, if you could wait, Wade, haha, get it, wordplay, for just 2 seconds, okay? I was literally gonna say my second point, okay?
The weird thing is she calls the person out and then calls out how long they've been chatting. That's the thing a lot of streamers do, is if they see something that they don't like from somebody, they'll first check to see how long they've been interacting with the stream. I don't know if that makes the point any less valid though. Because the person just said, oh, well, if you don't have anything to add, then don't watch it. That's a very realistic thing to say. If you don't have anything to add, just don't watch a video. That's why you should be preparing your videos in advance. Maybe, because a lot of these guys stream 8 to 10 hours, maybe stream 6 hours and spend the first hour and a half preparing your videos for the day. Might be a good idea.
I literally can't even wait to the end of the video to make my commentary. Otherwise, I'm going to get called. I'm going to be called on another lazy React streamer who isn't saying anything. So I literally have to be bad faith, whatever the fuck, and pause champing and saying my opinions like all the way through.
Thank you, Mahler, but I don't think I needed the full replay of her point one. Because we already know that's how she thinks.
So how can there be so much time left in this video? I don't know. Sometimes you can't perform. Occasionally, it can be weird for someone to not understand that. Especially if you just... I was literally going to say my second point, okay?
What is your second point, though?
Literally, my second point has been... There is content I literally don't watch on stream because I have nothing to say or react to it.
Good.
So like I literally told people stop sending me FD signifiers videos because I love them so much, but I have nothing to add to the content. And what YouTubers don't understand is chat will like bother the fuck out of you, and they'll be like, watch this video, watch this video, watch this video, watch this video, and like you'll have like tens of people spamming it, and then you watch it and there's nothing you can add to it. Like,
well, that's why you just don't listen to your chat at that point. If you guys were suggesting a video that I had no interest in to watch on my stream, I wouldn't watch it. I would just say no, I'm gonna watch what I want to watch right now. And I don't care if people leave because of that. That's on them. I want to do what I want to do on my stream. It's my stream. I run it, not my chat.
UGF said, "Chat being annoying like me. I'm chat."
Yes, you are currently chat. Thank you. But you are not annoying, trust me. I have had an annoying chatter before. And it's not bad. It's just more difficult to deal with. It feels like when I you know, have you ever had the situation where you're talking to someone that you don't want to talk to, but they just keep on having the conversation go on and on and on. They won't let the conversation end, and then when you try to leave, they try to continue it more, and then it just feels like it's rude for you to leave. Because that's what it feels like when you have a chatter you don't want to talk to.
UGF said,
"Yeah,
I understand that.
Thank you. Now I don't feel so alone."
Like,
well, I don't feel so alone already because my brother has the same situation. We're both too nice in that situation. We both make friends with a lot of the people that don't get friends.
I literally don't want to watch FD signifiers videos, not because they're bad, but because they're so good I have nothing to add to them.
I mean, you can add to anything. Trust me. You could even start making jokes about the video. You don't have to. It doesn't have to be good or bad for you to interact with it.
This should have been very evident from like the amount of people that wanted to watch like Death Note on stream, or the amount of people that want to watch like MasterChef or Hell's Kitchen on stream. Like, it stops being one person making content, like a person making react content, and it starts being like a bunch of people watching something together as like friends almost.
I'm not sure why this point was brought up again. It doesn't seem very relevant to the previous situation. Because if it is watching it with a bunch of friends, yeah, you can have the majority of the friends saying, "Oh no, I want to watch this instead." That's fine, but you're the one who runs it. There's a difference. There's a distinct difference. You're the one who running
There are times when I am streaming Hell's Kitchen and I don't even feel like I'm adding that much, but it's like about like the community watching. Like,
so okay, I guess the reason that Mahler put this edit in was to show that she knows that she's not adding that much, but she doesn't really care. But in the later point, she says, "Oh, I do care that I'm not adding that much, but chat wants it so bad." But I'm guessing that's what he means by putting this here.
In the same way that like watching a movie by yourself is almost always going to be less fun than watching it with other people. Do you know what I mean? And I think that this really was like amplified and like made obvious during like the peak of like the, you know, Pokemon getting banned and community.
Yeah, I don't care about
it's
this.
fun to watch something together as a community. Value, yeah, of course. It's like vibing with stoner friends. Exactly, yeah. Reaction. Good content does not equal good react content. Exactly. The whole point of react. Exactly, yeah. Good content does not equal good react content. Exactly. The whole point of react would be showing that your reaction, it defeats the purpose if you already know the content. Yeah, exactly. 3 hour.
So here's the thing. She says it defeats the commenter, at least that she's reacting to, that she's saying exactly to, is saying that the point is that it's your reaction. If you already know what's in the content, that it makes the reaction less good, right? But all I can say to that is you can preview the video. If it's a 10-minute video, you can watch the first minute and say, okay. You can make a judgment on whether or not you'll be able to contribute to the video. There's that, your brain can make that distinction. I know it can. You're smart enough that you can watch a video and go, okay, will I be able to comment on this video or not, on the points in this video or not, or can I comment on the content at all? There's a distinction that you can make in your brain on whether or not you can do that. But just like she can do it as she watches the video. She says herself that she knows that she can't watch, I think it was, she said ST signifier or XD signifier, something like that. She can't watch those videos because she knows she doesn't have anything to add to them. So just in that sense, you can't say that it has to be a genuine reaction all the way through. It can be a genuine reaction beyond the point where you previewed it, because you know whether or not you can react to something. Just like you can know whether you'll like a movie or not a lot of the time within the first 30 minutes, maybe the first 20 minutes, depending on the movie. But the premise will often get someone hooked on a concept. So if it's just like movies. You can make that distinction. You can make it.
Video essay plus podcast plus video joking about it plus tweets, and now this video. I know.
This mess.
Oh, I guess they're trying to comment on the fact that Jay's just mad again, or just trying to farm the drama. But it really is a single stream where he parodied his son. A single, I think, one comment on his video or one tweet, and then this video. And the only reason this video was made was because Hassan doubled down on the situation. The only reason. If Hassan would have just been humble enough to go, "Oh, yeah, I made a mistake. Sorry about that. I will change some of how I do my content. That's fine." But all he said was, "Sorry, dude, I won't watch your videos anymore." And that's not what what Jay was talking about. Jay didn't care if you watched the video, he just cared that he didn't watch the video and didn't shout anybody out. Like the mods didn't put any YouTube links in that video, at least. There was a lot that just went wrong with that stream. And just the fact that he left during the video, it's kind of ridiculous.
Weird house has made Hassan conclude, yes, only a disabled could have caused this.
So then she brings up the whole
That's what he
defending
like.
thing
Shut
again. Because she's ride or die for that comment that
What?
she read.
Okay, sorry. I've been trying to be pretty good faith in this video, but like this reading of like Hassan saying like this person could be disabled is one of the biggest fucking jokes in the fucking world. This is such a weird, bad faith interpretation of Hassan's commentary.
No, it's one of the only conclusions you can come to based on his wording and his tone of voice.
Hassan's commentary on this is, hey, people who are in any way, shape, or
because she's really good at using the correct terminology to make it so I don't like using the word woke just because it comes off negatively, but I'm trying to use it in a more positive light. She uses a lot of the woke terminology to keep it from being offensive, which I'm fine with. I appreciate
perform disabled tend to have less spoons to spend on making sure that their house is perfectly clean, and to like just be like, oh, look at this fucking incel slob, and then later finding out that this person is disabled makes you probably feel like a real asshole.
Yes, it would, but we know for sure that the previous owner of this house was just someone who was kind of wacky, who sold what was it, not counterfeit, but they burned movies and sold them online. They were a pirating scam. The person who owned this house previously was a pirater. Or pirating business, probably, because of the way the toilets are set up. But yeah.
Which is probably why Hassan was saying, hey.
She says probably why Hassan was saying that. No, Hassan didn't say it in a way that made it seem like she was defending Hassan. Or defending that. Hassan didn't say it in a way that he was defending the owner of the house. He said it in a way to demean. Right? That's the best reading I can get of it, and the way he says it. It's like I said, if he used better words like get off their back for that, or guys, they could be disabled. It's not okay to get to dogpile someone for their zany decisions on house decor. Like there's so many better ways.
This person could be disabled, and that's a little messier because they literally don't have enough energy or physical ability to do as much cleaning as people who aren't neurodivergent.
I appreciate the talk on spoons, though.
I do too, because I know she means spoons as money. I like the term spoons to refer to money. I hope more people use it in the future, just like people use green. They just use green to mean money. I think it's a funny word to use. I enjoy it. But I see what she means, though, that some people who have disabilities have a harder time getting a job that would give them money.
Spoons is a saying in the community for energy.
Wait, it means energy? I swore it was money. How did spoons come to mean energy, though?
Yujiya said, yes, energy.
Oh my... That makes no sense. Spoons... I swore before it was used as energy, it was used as money, though. I've heard it used before it was used as money. Or used as energy, if this is how it's used now. Why do terms change on me so quickly? Come on. Okay. That's a new thing for me. I had no idea. Just because I recently came to terms with the fact that people use bald to mean like dumb. Which I feel like is a little mean to bald people, but if you're gonna use it that way, go for it. So I guess this is another situation of just me not understanding that terminology. But thank you for informing me on the use of spoons. I will still be using spoons to mean money, just because that's my way of using it. But I will interpret spoons when said in the commentary community to mean energy from now on, as much as I can. I'll do my own research afterwards just to make sure. But thank you for informing me.
UGF said,
Disability
disability
I have a chair
community equals
plugged in
energy.
front of my laundry machine just so I can watch it run, but each to their own, eh?
Oh, it's in the disability community. Okay. I would have never expected that. That's cool. Although I'm just wondering why spoons became the word for energy. I guess it's just a single
said,
syllable word.
Not sure why.
Yeah. I guess it's just a single syllable word as opposed to energy, which is 3. That's just an easier way to say things, just like we say bucks instead of dollars. Easier. Although bucks is also referring to buckskins that people would sell in order to trade up for better things. So there's more than just that origin. So I'm guessing spoons has more origins. Just like if you've ever dissected the Cockney dialect, because Cockney is not only an accent but it's also a dialect. If you look at the dialect for Cockney and find out all the origins for all the words, it's kind of insane. Because I think they use the word China, so as in tea, China, to mean friends, to mean good friends. But there's an origin to that. There's I think at least 4 degrees of separation between China and friends. So I will look at the etymology of spoons being used to mean energy.
I feel
He
like
shows the context
gotta
again.
be
Yeah, I'm fine with
something
that.
right.
I already saw
This
this.
is so bad faith. What the fuck?
I don't
Because people
care.
like this
It's got ability or something.
I don't want to
be made about lazy react content, but this guy so far an essay
wait,
YouTuber. It's so weird. The
Let me hear what she says now.
chat context is lost on an essay YouTuber. It's so weird. There are clearly arguments to be made about lazy react content, but this guy so far seems to be salty that there's a react market because parasocial and casual content is popular.
But yeah, parasocial content has a place, but it doesn't mean that you're the one that should be making money off of it if you're using other content for it. Because I can see parasocial stuff. If I were trying to be a friend to all my viewers, I would be fine with that market because I'm trying to have that parasocial relationship. But you can have a parasocial relationship without even making content that has to do with other people. Because I don't think people know what the definition of parasocial relationship is, because it's more loose than they think. It's not just about, because they're saying parasocial content, which is just like sitting around doing stuff with each other. No, it's not that type of thing. It's parasocial is more like people imagining that they're better friends with someone than they are, like that they know someone better than they do. Because I know that there are plenty of super fans of K-pop bands and stuff that have a really deep parasocial relationship with a singer of a particular group, but the singer has no idea about it. So it's just a weird way to use parasocial to just mean sitting around talking with their streamers in a just chatting sense. Or sorry, chatting with their comments. But that it's more than just sitting around and being more casual with things. Because people who seem like deities to some, or people who seem untouchable can have a parasocial relationship with their underlings. People could have parasocial relationships with a king. a serf could probably have a parasocial relationship with the king if they knew enough about the king. There's an extent to where you, because here's a better example. So you have a significant other that you talk with all the time, and they tell you about their friend all the time. They tell you about their best friend. And you're talking with them about their best friend all the time. And then when you finally meet the best friend, you feel like you've known them, but you don't really. That's that feeling of that parasocial relationship being broken, because you've had a parasocial relationship in your mind about you thinking you know a lot about this friend. But then when you finally meet them, some of it breaks away, some of it doesn't, because it depends on how good of an explanation your significant other gives on that best friend. But it's also the same situation the other way around. Your significant other's best friend will know about you in a parasocial manner until they meet you in real life. Because until you actually meet them, it's all parasocial. And it's and even in the situation of meeting someone, you can go to a convention and meet these streamers, and they'll still be in their facade of their streamer sense. They'll still be in their streamer mode while they're at a convention. So it's not like you've actually met them or hung out with them. It's still parasocial at that point. It's not a friendship. And it's sad to say, but that's just how it works. It's how psychology works.
Like, I'm not even sure if he means mental or physical. What the fuck are you talking about? What's the disability that makes you go, I need to install a toilet next to my fucking toilet?
And there's Jay again. He also doesn't curse very much, but I guess he curses there. I'm very surprised to hear Jay cursing, because he's more of a good boy, we could say.
Now, I'll give it to Hassan. This is a more fully formed...
What?
Oh, and I apologize if I used he there. I know Jay doesn't care which pronouns, but I think Jay goes by they right now. I think Jay is still dealing with some identity crisis. Not crisis. Identity swapping. I'm not sure.
Does he think that the homeowner literally chose to build those two toilets next to each other?
Thought than anything Jinx
I mean, a
said while
homeowner
Tom
can.
Scar's video was playing. I also just really want to know what the fuck he meant. But so far, my video was played...
Are you serial? Is he serious?
I like when people say cereal. That's an older thing. That's an older thing that I heard in high school. This person must be around my age if they're still using cereal to mean serious.
It takes 2 brain cells to recognize that he obviously was trying to say that.
But see, to this point, this is her third time mentioning it. This is not a point that she came up with in her own mind. A commenter said it. She said it once, and then as she says it the third time, she has doubled down on the situation and assumes that that's what it meant entirely. There's no other way of interpreting it. But she should listen to the way he says it again. There's no
that like people who
almost done. Just let it go.
People who are neurodivergent or people who are physically disabled.
I don't care about what you're saying.
You don't even need to try that hard.
Yes, you do. Because you have to imagine he said
and Hassan
different
didn't even
words.
get the chance to edit his points. Like it's just.
The biggest flex you can do is when you have not one.
So the thing that she's critiquing right now is just like earlier in his video, Jay goes over Jinx's reaction to Jack's Films content or to ASDF movies, and he goes through every single word or sound that Jinx says during the entire thing. He analyzes every single portion of it. So he's just doing the same thing to Hassan here. So a lot of these guys just don't understand essays because he was giving an example of something that happened before and seeing how similar it can be now, or analyzing just in what ways he reacted. And these are the ways he reacted. He said he was gone for all that time, came back and immediately said, oh, this person may have had a disability. or might have a disability. And then he mentions this again, which he saw while he was away, because the toilet part came up while he was making his chicken nuggets.
But two fucking side-by-side bathrooms, you know what I mean?
No, not really. So the house I was roasting actually does have
So now he's getting mad at Hassan for making commentary.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. She's misinterpreting the situation. He's just. I think Jay's more out of the, and because I think she's reading it into it more badly than I would, because I would still say Jay is misinterpreting that as well. Like he's poking jabs at Hassan's reaction to the video. And in a way that is just saying, oh, the jokes aren't good. But you could say that about anything, because jokes are mostly subjective. So I think there's something for her to say here, but I don't think she's gonna say it.
I'm confused. So Hassan reacted, and then he was like, "You got the reaction wrong. That's not what I said." What?
Well, it's not that the reaction's wrong though. I don't think that's what Jay is saying. I just think that he's saying that that Hassan is. It's not that he's reacting wrong. It's more that he chooses the weirdest way to react. Although I would make that type of joke too, because it's kind of funny having two toilets right and facing across from each other. Because I think the joke context would be that the flex is, hey, you want to go to the bathroom? Oh yeah, I gotta go too, and you both just sit across from each other trying to poop, and that's more of a funny thing. But I think the way Hassan put it made it less funny. I think that's what that's what Jay is trying to point out, but I think yes, Jay drops the ball a little bit on this section. Just
what the fuck is happening?
My guess is that he's just forgotten the word toilet and is saying bathroom instead of toilet. And to be honest...
Oh yeah, no. The thing that he's actually pointing out is that Hassan made a verbal mistake.
I really don't know what he means by this.
And then she gets really pissed at him, and then like she pauses it here, gets real pissed, and then Jay immediately says, but I think it might have just been an honest mistake. So I think the section is a little bloated because of that type of stuff, where he just goes, I don't really know what he means by this. But like, he dodges, he tiptoes around a lot of what he wants to say in this section. And he has an unreleased section somewhere. I think it's, where is it? He has a unreleased section. Oh yeah, it's the beginning of this Hassan Piker situation. He has an unreleased section to his J video, so we'll get to that much later.
I'm not sure if it's supposed to be a joke.
He's mad because he misspoke? What is happening in this video? This is weird. This is a weird video.
Added something small here. I'm just not really sure what it was. He then lets the video play completely.
Yeah, so he goes back on what he just said, but although that's something you shouldn't be really going for inside of an edited video.
Uninterrupted.
He's acting like a Twitch chatter. Jay is literally, the YouTuber is acting like a Twitch chatter.
I don't get what she means by this, but that's fine.
Well, yeah, he's making the joke that like having two toilets is like you're flexing. You're like, yo, I'm so rich. I got two toilets. One for peeing, one for pooping. You think I'm going to pee and poop in the same toilet? Nah. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's kind of hard not to pee and poop at the same time, if we're being honest here.
What is going on in this video? What is this? Denims, you better make funny commentary. I'm going to write a 2-hour video essay about how I would have given better commentary. No, I'm going to get a video written about me now.
But that's not the video. Hi, Denims. But no, that's not the type of video that's being made here with Jay. This is I swear this is only a 10-minute section in a 56-minute video. So you can't really say that it's all about the content, right? The commentary being bad. I think it's just a small section that Jay does get a little hung up on. Like, he probably should have edited it down, but.
And it's gonna be like, Denims just reads her chat and steals all the comments, just like a stupid dumb e-girl. I was like, maybe I'm the asshole, you know what I mean? Maybe I should be nicer, you know? But then I was like, people don't even like, honestly, like, it feels like in like certain spaces online, nobody even cares what it feels.
Okay, sorry, I need to go back
written about me now, and it's gonna be like, Denims just reads her chat and steals all the comments, just like a stupid dumb e-girl.
She says.
I was like, maybe I'm the asshole, you know what I mean? Maybe I should be nicer, you know? But then I was like, people don't even like, honestly, like, it feels like in like certain spaces online, nobody even cares when you're generous. So like, why should I bother?
So 7, but so this is where we're going to end the stream for today on that statement. Nobody cares when you're generous, so why should I even bother? Is just the. That's so sad. You should. If you're being generous just to get something out of it, that's not. Oh, sorry, to get something out of it from another person, that's just messed up. Don't act generous if you don't feel that way. If you don't feel like you want to give stuff away. I've always said if I won the lottery, I'd give a lot away. I don't really need that much money. I'll spend what I need and get rid of most of it. But in this situation, she's just saying she shouldn't be generous to Jay's video because nobody cares. But she's not being generous to the video already. So if this is what generous is, I don't know what to say. My goodness. Denims, you are insane. I might start another stream later today to finish the second Denim section, because I feel like I should get more of Denims done in one day. I've done how many minutes? I've done 30 minutes of content in 2 hours, which is a lot better than last time. Or I've gone through 30 minutes of the video in 2 hours, which is a lot better than last time, like a lot faster. And you can see, okay, sorry, I need to go off on a tiny little tangent. So I counted the number of likes she said. Yes, I use like a lot too, but it's because I'm Californian and she probably is too. But there's an extent to where you use that as your filler word. A lot of the time when you're learning how to speak, especially in a communications class or a class like that, you learn to destroy your filler words, fill it with empty space rather than using or or like. Especially like with Californians, but there's a lot going for you learning how to speak without using like. Because like I said, I'm Californian. I use like occasionally as a filler word, but not to this extent. There needs to be more realizing that you're not speaking eloquently like that. If you speak like that, you're not speaking eloquently, and your points will be muddied. It's really hard to understand you if you have a lot of unnecessary wording. But just to end the stream on this note, it's on the actual note, and nobody even cares when you're generous. Why even bother? The reason I say you shouldn't do something generous and not expect anything in return, the reason I don't say that is the moral high ground, is because when a lot of times when people are generous, they expect that their selves, they will feel nice for doing something nice, which is also by I think it's Immanuel Kant is the philosopher that I'm thinking of, that says that if you do anything expecting something good for yourself, that is a moral wrong. Kant is a very weird philosopher in that sense. So that's why I'm kind of modifying it so that when I say that it's really sad that she thinks like this, I'm saying it from the perspective that she thinks that nobody even cares when you're generous. It's more like you should care. You should care that you're generous because you think of yourself as a good person when you're generous. You shouldn't really care what other people think of you if you think that you're in the moral high ground, or you're not high ground, but in a moral good, doing a moral good. Of course, you could say that in response to people who commit genocides or stuff like that, or they'll think, oh, I shouldn't care about what other people think of me doing all these monstrous things because I think it's a good thing. But there's always an extent to where you should take criticism. You should take people's words. But if you are taking it as because no one cares, you shouldn't even bother. You should also think about how you feel about the situation. Although that's what I feel like all these three streamers think about, is only about what they feel about the situation. That's all they're seeing Jay's points and then just going, nah, it's our perspective that matters, it's not yours. So yeah, I think I'm done here. I can't even comment on this further. It's insane. Well, not insane. It's not completely insane it's not completely insane to be upset that being generous doesn't get rewarded. A lot of people understand that. That's why the whole nice guy community exists. Is they're usually weird people or undesirable or creepy or angry or mean people that act generous to get something out of it. That's the reason there's a whole community around that. But if you're just doing it to get stuff out of it, you can't be angry if people don't respond immediately, because that's just the base. That's the bare minimum that you should be. Being nice to people is the bare minimum. Being generous is a little bit of a step up. So I guess you could say that you expect something in return for being generous, but you should more expect your self to feel better when you're being generous. That's the reason you do generous things. And that's the reason people get mad at people for helping homeless people out, but on video and post it on their YouTube. It's more making a show out of being generous rather than being generous because you feel like it's a good thing. That's where I'm going to end the stream for today. And I thank you for having a dialogue with me. And I will be back hopefully today if I have the energy for it, but I'm not sure if I will. But I'll try and be back and finish the next section. So,
Yujiya said, "Have a nice day."
You too. And thank you very much. Bye.